And a good evening. Welcome out to the patio here at Lamar University. Talking Lamar football, Coach Pete Rossomando joins us for our weekly radio show. Let me reintroduce this. The 20th ranked Lamar University Cardinals. How about that? The Cardinals are in the top 25. That's in the FCS stats poll, but they are ranked in every FCS poll this week. So getting the word out nationwide on this Cardinal team. Coach, kind of near the end, made it interesting. Bottom line, we get out with a win over, I don't care about their record because you look at their schedule, a very good Central Arkansas football team.
Yeah, very good. Very well coached. A lot of the same guys that we played the year before were out there playing. So obviously the quarterback was gone and the running back who went to the NFL and the DN. But for the most part, the rest of the guys were all there. So they're a talented ball club for sure.
Jumped off to an early start, 14-0, and that was set up by Kendon Fusilier, who had two good punt returns. Matter of fact, Kendon is the special teams player of the week. This is the third, not because we had a week off, it's not the third consecutive for the Southland Conference, but in games played, it's the third consecutive special teams player of the week for the Cardinals. And that's the third phase of your game.
Yeah, I mean, I think he averaged 33.1 yards a return, so that's pretty darn good. I think that deserves special teams player of the week, and it certainly put us in really good shape as an offense. So when we made them punt, which they didn't do very much in the second half, but when we made them punt, yeah, we made them pay for it for sure.
Blake Thomas had one carry for 32 yards, and that was a little razzle-dazzle to start the game. His only carry of the game, and that set up that first score.
Yeah, it was explosive play, and we haven't had many plays over 20 yards this year, and I think we had 5 of them in the game, and 2 of them were Blake. And I know that we had talked about Blake coming around as a player and an athlete, but Houston's finest, Summer Creek High School, and he was just he was quarterback in high school. We changed him to receiver here, and man, he's just making a huge impact on our offense the way he plays the game.
You look at your offense up and down that roster. You've got multiple guys that played quarterback in high school. So you talk about their athletic ability.
Yeah.
Devin, Major, of course, Blake. Yeah, all these guys, they played quarterback in high school.
Isaiah Jones.
Isaiah, correct, yeah.
Yeah. We've had a bunch of them, and Cash Cross. A lot of guys that have played, quarterback, and I think a lot of it is, mental aptitude. I think that has a lot to do with it. And those guys are really bright. And they pick up things really quick, and that always makes for a really good football player.
First touchdown pass, a 7-yarder, and that came to your big Woodville tight end.
Yeah, Ja'Cory. Needed to get in the end zone, and we had a couple things dialed up for him, and he got that one in the end zone. That was Aiden's first career touchdown at Lamar, so that was good way to start off the game.
Let's talk about Aiden real quick. He got his first collegiate start against Texas Southern. Then we had the bye week, his second start this past Saturday against Central Arkansas. Talk about his progression and him getting better with the offense. I mean, you can do it all day long during practice, but if you're not out there in a game, it's a whole different level. Just talk about his progression for his 2 starts.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really positive, and I think Aiden's a real student of the game, which helps. He comes to meetings with the coaches, when we're game planning, and takes a lot of notes and asks a lot of questions and has input on what goes in, because obviously he's got to run the plays. And but yeah, and that's really helped him to play faster, to play better, to make better decisions. The first week, I won't say it was a layup, but they really sat in the same defense the whole day. They didn't really do much to them. So I think this week changed fronts, they changed coverages, they pressured a little bit, and I think that obviously made him step his game up, which was really good for all of us. But yeah, I think he continues to get better, continues to understand what we're doing and how it fits into how he does things. Not just different than Robert, it's just a different. He's not good, better or worse or anything, just way different. And I think those guys really work well together. Robert's really been helping them with all the things that make it important to be a quarterback. And a lot of it's not just scheme, because Aiden knows the scheme part of it. It's how to be a quarterback in college and handle it.
And what I like about Robert, we're talking about Robert Coleman, started out with an injury. We'll talk about his progress here in just a bit. You've brought this up. A team guy because he's working with Aiden. He's out there and helping him every play, every practice, and that really says a lot about Robert Coleman.
Yeah, always has been. Robert's that's why he's back here, because we love him, and he's endeared himself to our coaching staff, and we didn't expect anything less from him. Not only will he work extremely hard to get back on the field, but he's going to support all of his teammates in the process of doing that.
Well, let's talk about that. What is the progress? How he had the
great
shoulder issue. How's he coming along?
Yeah, really good. Great week this week. We'll see what happens as we get towards the end of the week. But yeah, really excited about his progress and where he's at right now. And he's throwing pain-free, which is always good. And obviously now we got to make sure he's healthy enough to take a hit. But yeah, he's out there doing his thing right now, so it's good. Good for the team.
35-32 again over Central Arkansas. Talk about the defensive play. Stepped it up at the end. Of course, Central Arkansas made that run, but when the clock's hit 0, you guys had the football. You got the win, and there's some big plays. Christian, another pick. I mean, another one there.
Christian played well. I mean, really well for us. He had 9 tackles, I believe, something along those lines, and he had a forced fumble on the 3rd and short, and he had the interception, obviously, which was an unbelievable play. So just impressed with the way he's going about his business and just continues to make plays for our football team.
On that turnover, talk about that a little bit. Initially, they'd given Central Arkansas a first down, and I think that might have been a 4th down play, if I recall. Schlepp since then, but nonetheless, you take the timeout and they go take a look at it. Just talk about that situation.
Well, yeah, we have a new replay system, and there's a slight delay in getting the video to the replay booth. So they were trying to go fast to eliminate the review, and I called the timeout so that we could. Thank goodness I had one left. So, we were able to get that done.
And elsewhere on the defense, we already talked about special teams, and all phases of the game. Now, you look at the stats. You look at total yardage, and you say, well, look at Central Arkansas compared to Lamar. But a lot of people have got to sit back and realize with your special teams, 2 of your touchdown drives were on short field, so you didn't have very far to go.
No. I thought the second quarter, the third quarter were as good as offensive football as we've played so far this year. As we continue to get better and grow with Aiden and the rest of the guys, and LaDamian was a little bit banged up, so he didn't play as much, but did have an explosive kickoff return. But yeah, and I think he's 100% healthy. Got 100% clean bill of health on Monday, so he's good to go. He's practiced full, this week. So we're anticipating a big game from him. So I think the offense is moving in the right direction. I think we're, you got to have short fields. Those, that's why you play 3 phases of the game, because those help you on both sides of the ball. I think one of the things that the most unsung thing in the entire stat report is Mason Stallings and our punt team. They flipped the field numerous times, 46-yard average, 44.5-yard net. I mean, that guy boomed the ball. We had the last drive where we were trying to run the clock out 4 minutes. He kicked from our own 25 down to their 18-yard line. So, and it really helped us in the final drive of the game.
Yeah, because they chewed up a lot of that clock driving downfield.
Yeah, for sure.
We are out at the patio talking Lamar University football here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center. Invite you to come see us during the duration of the football season. Going to get a timeout, and when we come back, we talk about returning home, staying at the house to take on Nicholls. Conference opens on Saturday. Back to talk about it on News Talk 560 KLVI. News Talk 560 KLVI. Harold Mann back with you out at the patio along with Lamar University football coach Pete Rossomando. 3-1 coach as we get set to go into conference play. If you have to get out the report card right now and grade your team as we get set for conference. First off, let's talk offense in the first 4 ball games.
Grade them?
Grade them.
Oh, you really going to put me on the spot here, huh?
You got the spotlights on you?
I think he's
on the TV cameras.
I think we're probably right now at about a C+ on offense. I would say on defense, we're probably around a B. And I think on special teams, we're probably around an A-.
So there needs of improvement everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I think we need improvement in a lot of places. And, we're still dealing with 18 to 25-year-old young guys who, they got some ebbs and flows, and we just got to continue to work with them. But it's a great team. They're a great group of guys. They work, really, really hard for each other, and they support each other. And it's really been a fun year so far. I know obviously winning makes everything a little bit fun, but when we came off that North Texas game, I don't think there was a doubt in any of the guys' minds in the locker room that we had a good football club and that they were going to stick together and get a little bit better. And, of course, we played, what I would consider the gauntlet, when you play North Texas, South Dakota, and Central Arkansas, you got some good folks on your schedule. And, we came out of that 3-1. And I think, if you asked me, probably in August, what that would look like. You said, hey, you're going to be 3-1. I would have said, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, and again, like we talked about Central Arkansas, they're 1-4 on the year. They lost at Missouri.
Yeah.
They lost a third-ranked Tarleton State.
Who I think's undefeated, both of them, right?
Yes, they are both undefeated. They lost to Tarleton. They lost to Sac State, who traditionally are in the FCS playoffs.
No, they're really good. I saw them on film. They're really good.
And then, of course, they lost to the Cardinals. So those 4 losses are to good ball clubs.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't make Coach Brown feel any better, but I think it's certainly true. They had a tough schedule, and and Nicholls, the team we're playing this week, had a tough schedule. So I do think that there's some there's a lot of growth that we need to do, and need to make over the next through these weeks, but. Each week we go out there to improve. Each week we go out there to try to better our last practice game, whatever it might be, and our guys are doing a good job of that.
Let's talk again. We're still going to talk more about the Central Arkansas win before we move into Nicholls, maybe in our next segment. But I want to talk about the crowd. It is so cool to come out there. Now, I really can't see the home crowd all that well, but I can see well enough because I'm right on top of them. From the home crowd, Crossway student body, flight deck, just everywhere. Everybody fired up, and we just hope it gets bigger and better each week.
It should. I mean, I think the product's been good. I mean, it wasn't exciting for me, the end of that game, but I'm sure it's exciting for the fans, to watch what was happening out there. But I think that it's a great product, and, the production is really good. We got a great crew and a lot of people working really hard behind the scenes, and we have this Cardinal walk from the dining hall to the building. And, that was about as big time an atmosphere as I've ever been in. And, I coached in the SEC and I coached in, in the Big Ten. And I think that, the atmosphere here in Southeast Texas for Lamar football and the appetite is growing. So we're really fired up about that. We want people out. We want them to continue to come. And, we love our student body. We love the flock. They're out there. Oh, yeah. They're spreading their wings, so to speak, and they're getting after it. And, it's fun to watch them go, not only go from the tailgating area and then actually get in the game, which, that part we really appreciate. And our band was amazing. Our cheerleaders and our dance team, awesome. Big time experience. Come out and watch. If you're not a, huge football fan, there's a lot of other things going on that's really, really exciting.
I think one of these days, I've thought about it, I'm going to do the walk with you guys.
Yeah, come on.
But can I meet you like halfway?
It's not that long.
I know. No, that'd be pretty cool because there's been a few times I'm getting to the stadium as you're coming across MLK, and it looks like you're all having a lot of fun doing that.
We are. Yeah, I think when we first started, you could hear crickets when I first got here walking down that road, and now it's the Silver Bullet Gang and all the families are over there celebrating before the game. And I think they were making steak and cheese this week. I'm not.
Whoa!
Right? I think it was steak and cheese.
Does that look over there? Well, what's on the menu? What's on the menu this week?
Yeah. I can't eat before a game, but if I was going to eat, I would have had that cheesesteak for sure.
Forget about me walking with you. I'm going over to the Coors Light tent, and get some pregame chow.
I would. That's what I would do.
All right, real quick here, defensively, you talked about Christian Pugh. He led the way with 9 tackles. You also had Andrew Huff, Braden Faulkner. with 8 tackles each. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, both played good. Christian Booker played excellent too. Had a huge sack on that last drive to push him out of field goal range and make him go for it. And that's just guys that are making big plays, veterans, guys that have been around making plays when this team needs it the most. So really excited about those guys. And Christian made the last play at the end of the game with the pass deflection.
Yeah, he knocked it away when they threw to the end zone. And I don't know if you can talk about it. I'll just put it this way. A good buddy of mine is, and this is just me talking. You don't have to listen. A good buddy of mine is a sideline reporter for Central Arkansas. On that touchdown pass, I asked him. I said, "Hey, did your guy push off? Was that offensive interference?" And his answer was absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he was talking about his own guy.
Yeah.
So and I know you really can't comment on it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You told me what it was.
I mean, you all have your own opinions on it, and I had mine. And but there's some. I'm sure there's some other calls that they missed or they made that were good. So I made about 5 mistakes calling that game on Saturday that I wish I had back too. So
is one of them going out too far into the other field?
No.
I like that. No, you got to stand up for your team.
Well, again, I'm not gonna air my dirty laundry.
I know.
There was some conversation before the game about that specific situation that wasn't handled exactly the way they said it would be. So anyway.
All. Hey, when the clock's 6-0, Lamar 35, Central Arkansas 32.
Right.
That's all that matters.
That's right.
We're going to get our second break in. When we come back, we will talk about the Nicholls Cardinals. They come to town for a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday afternoon. We're back on News Talk 560 KLVI. News Talk 560 KLVI. Harold Mann with you out at the patio on the campus of Lamar University talking LU football. Again, we talked about Del Papa there a second ago and those NFL cans. Thank you for what you're doing for Southeast Texas, also giving to local charities. All right, Nicholls comes to town. Coach Pete Rossomando, they come in 1-4. Again, we already talked about this. They started off the season. Beating a top 10 team in UIW 20-6. Since then, they've dropped 4 in a row, and they've lined it up pretty tough. Troy 38-20, West Georgia 34-10, Texas State 35-3, Eastern Kentucky 27-7. But this is an explosive type team coming in with some good athletes because traditionally they're in that upper level of the Southland Conference.
Yeah, I mean that win against UIW was probably the biggest win in college football this year. I would think if you had to go judge by where they were ranked and where Nicholls was ranked, and Coach Ryback did a great job of getting his team ready, and they got some really really good players on both sides of the ball, and some guys that we recruited, obviously being so close to Louisiana and obviously being in the same league, but that's a bear of a schedule, just kind of like ours, and. They've traveled a lot this year, so I think this is probably one of their shorter trips so far.
And last year was a good matchup, unfortunately.
Last year was a great game, and we were able to come out on top of it. It was a dogfight, and they played great defense. This might be the best defensive football team we played this year so far. I mean, they're really well coached. They're always in the right spots. They have great eye discipline, which is one of the things we talk about a lot on defense. They run to the football. They play super physical with really big human beings on the defensive line. So, it's going to be a tall task for us to do the things that we need to do on the offensive side of the ball. And, when they're on offense, they got 2 great running backs. Mm-hmm. They got receivers that, they can go the distance when they get the ball. So, obviously – we got some things that we got to make sure we take care of in those areas.
That quarterback you're talking about is Deuce Hogan. 829 yards of passing on the year. He's hit the end zone 4 times, 4 touchdown passes. Does he mix it up? Will he tuck and run?
I wouldn't say he's a runner, but he's done it, on occasion. He's more of a thrower. He's more of a guy that gets these guys in the right situations. You could tell I guarantee he's a captain I can guarantee you that his teammates think the world of him. When you watch him, he's very confident. He does a really good job of getting those guys where they need to be on the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, I mean, just you can always tell if a quarterback's liked on a team and not, just based on how the guys play and react to him.
A guy by the name of McQuell Brock Jr. Now, he leads him in rushing and he leads him in receiving.
Yeah.
So they like to throw to the running back out of the backfield.
They do.
This guy obviously a pretty good athlete.
He's a great player. I think he's one of the best backs in the conference. He's big. He's low center of gravity. He's a Florida kid. Really, really explosive talent when he gets the ball in his hands. They throw him a lot of screen passes. So he's a lot of check down routes. He does a really good job, and we're gonna have to stop him in order to have a shot to stay in this game, because he is what they like to do on offense. They're very similar enough. They want to pound the football. They want to create explosive plays through the run game. A lot very similar to what we do at Lamar.
Only assistant athletic director for media relations, James Dixon, could come up with something like this. We could have a situation in Saturday's game where Aiden McCown runs by Aiden McCowan for a touchdown.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, it could happen. But yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. I did notice that this week. Both names spelled differently, but sound the same.
Yeah. On the defensive side, what will Nicholls show you?
I mean, they're basically an odd defense, so they play with a 3-down deployment. The number 7, their outside linebacker, is the guy that makes a lot of stuff go. Their inside linebacker, number 10. Those two guys are, in my opinion, it's a humble opinion, they're two of the best players in our conference. Not because their stature or stats, they just have an effect on the game in ways where you know that those guys are well coached, really disciplined in what they do, and run to the football. Man, they got incredible passion to get to the ball carrier. And we're going to have our hands full, definitely, with those guys.
What do they show up front defensively with your line matchup against those guys up front?
I mean, they're huge. They're Lovelace, the All-American nose guard. He goes about 310, 315. They got 2 D tackles that go about 305 and 315. They got a DN that goes about 265. The rest of the guys are not big, but they're regular, normal-sized linebackers. But man, you can't find them behind those guys. I mean, those guys they're big humans.
Blitz a lot. Will they come after Aiden?
They'll pick and choose their spots. Yeah, they got a heck of a 3rd down package. Always had a ton of respect for Coach Ryback, even when he was defensive coordinator. Those guys prepare their team extremely well. They play extremely hard. You could tell they love them and they play hard for them. And we're gonna make. I think our line's good. We're gonna find out this weekend against these big guys. So
and this is where it starts. Conference starts this weekend. I mean,
starts this weekend.
Yeah, there's actually 3 phases, I guess, to a season: non-conference, conference, and then postseason.
Yeah.
And to get to that 3rd one, you've got to take care of the 2nd phase.
Well, as you know, we are 1+ in the conference with UTRGV coming in. So now it's 8 conference games instead of 7. And, I don't think it's going to get easier any week. It looks like everyone has really improved their rosters, improved their team. I haven't seen a whole bunch of everybody else, but I did see obviously Nicholls versus UIW, and I saw a couple of other crossover games. So yeah, I mean it's going to be another one of those knock them down, drag them out years in the Southland Conference.
When it comes to scouting your next opponent, and in this case Nicholls, do you look at all 5 of their games, or do you just look at different situations?
So I like to watch games. I'm a guy that likes to go through the games. So I'll do 3 full games, and I'll pick ones, that I think refer back to the things that we're going to do. And then we have our situational cut-ups. So we break all the games down, and then you have like a 3rd medium, 3rd and short, 3rd and long. You have your red zone. You have your tight red zone. You got your goal line. You got your short yardage. You got all those. And then we'll go back and we'll look over those as we start to build our game plan, just to start to get a feel for what they do versus different situations. And then they're going to have their little wrinkles for our game, they're on defense. The one thing that I think Nicholls is as good as they are. Is they play the defense they play. They're not reinventing the wheel every week. That's just not what they do. But they will have a different third down package each week. So we got to be prepared. Got to get on our iPads and make sure that we got answers for what they're going to bring to us. That are a little bit different than what we saw on film.
Now, on your defense from game 1 through this past game against Central Arkansas, maybe a player or two that have really improved as the season progresses on the defense.
Players,
maybe just a couple.
Oh, I mean, Huff, Andrew Huff is really
been a player of the week.
He's starting to really play, I think, up to his expectations. Ronnie Hamrick, who's one of our senior outside linebackers, is he's about as good a football player as you're going to get. He can play physical in a run. He's really good in man-to-man coverage. Texas State transfer, but really, really, really excited to see what he'll do this weekend. I think he's really done a really good job for us. Really impressed with what he's done this year. And then just all our other safety, Kevin Thomas. Those guys are Christian in the back end have done a really good job. But I think if those are some guys that I have in mind. Solo 99, our D tackle, really starting to play well. Had a big time game against South Dakota. And then got dinged up a little bit, and then was back in the game, wreaking havoc last week. So we hate to block him. I know that. We hate it. We absolutely hate to block him in practice. So I think he's really improved. He's one of the smarter guys that we have on our roster. Fun to watch him get better each week.
And this is a good problem. I mean, you've got great depth, and that's something your third year here, and it's progressed all 3 years where, of course, they're going to be one quarterback. There can only be one middle linebacker, but the next guy up could start just as talented.
I just think in today's day and age, in the transfer portal windows and all those, is that our guys are choosing to stay here, and they're choosing to build a family. And at some point, some of them are going to leave, and some have already. And I wish them the best because they've given everything they have. For the red and black of Lamar. So I just always appreciate that. And we're trying to build something what we think is special. A lot of it has to do with our administration and the way they approach all phases of our institution. All right. But I think that's why the guys are here. That Cardinal walk, that's the reason why they stay, because they've seen the growth of this program from 2022 to now. And, we're just continue to get better. And, I wish we were deeper at some other positions, but hey, it is what it is.
Yes. News Talk 560 KLVI. Again, we're hanging out at the patio of the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center here on the campus of Lamar University. Harold Dan along with Lamar head football coach Pete Rossomando. We're back with more LU football on News Talk 560 KLVI. News Talk 560 KLVI. Back at the patio, Coach Pete Rossomando, Cardinal football. Coming up Saturday afternoon here on News Talk 560 KLVI. Note the time change. We've moved into October. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff, 2:30 your time. But it's a home game. Come on out, folks, and support your Cardinals. Get your tickets. If you haven't already, a lot of fun times we've talked about before the game, a lot of tailgating going on. Something the entire fun zone, all kinds of stuff for the entire family. So you just want to get out here and support our hometown football team, your Lamar Cardinals. So that again coming up on Saturday. Matter of fact, let's take a look at what the conference looks like right now. SFA, Southeastern Louisiana, and Nicholls all 1-0, and Rio Grande Valley, UIW, McNeese all 0-1. Nobody else has played their game yet. Nicholls coming in on Saturday. We talked about them winning. They opened up the season. I guess that's what they call week 0.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because that's actually the first week of football. But nonetheless, they got that conference game behind them. But it's a conference here on out, and that starts Saturday against Nicholls, 3 o'clock. And I know you like that earlier kickoff.
Oh, I like it way better than 6. Yeah, for sure. It's It'll be a way better night, after the game. It's just, man, but we didn't even get out of the facility till about 11 o'clock. So, you don't really get a good night's sleep, and you you're really turning over the next day, right in the morning on the next team. So it's a welcome little window there, that 3-hour window.
Talk about that schedule a little bit. After the game, you sit there and talk to the guys a little bit, or they just, I know, because they have family and friends waiting outside, so you want to get them out to them as quick as you can.
Yeah, we come in, recap the game, obviously, say a prayer as a team, and then we break it down. We sing our fight song together, and, we talk about the things that we need to focus on this week. Obviously, we knew it was conference play coming up. Guys were really excited about that. And then we let them go, release them to their families. We feed them pretty good. We give them a nice meal after the game.
So there's food after the game?
Oh, yeah. The players get good food.
Oh, the players. You're
in the press box.
I know. I get.
Does Dixon not take care of you up there?
Yeah, Dixon takes care of us up there.
Sure.
Here's a quick story. At one time, we got the sandwiches. And they had a sandwich, potato chips, and a cookie. Now they've gone to sandwich, potato chips, either an apple or orange. Because a lot of people would get there, open up their food boxes of the media, their box would have a cookie. I'd have about 6. But another thing I like when you talk Cardinal football, as soon as that game's over, your guys are over there with the showcase of Southeast Texas, the best band for the alma mater. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the new upbeat alma mater. It's a lot of fun. Our guys love to dance to it, especially after a win. So
that's a lot of excitement. And I noticed that down on the sideline, you only can have 11 guys on the field at one time. But all those guys on the sideline, they're into the game. Even the red shirts who are in shorts and wearing their jerseys.
Yeah.
This is a true team you've put together.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I said, it's a fun group of guys. Every day you come in, you try to work hard to make their experience better every day. And, that's really my goal as a head coach. And I know our administration feels the same way. We just want to make it an unbelievable experience, great opportunity for them to come get a fantastic degree and then, play Division I college football in Southeast Texas. Football is what it's supposed to be about here in Texas. So we're just so fortunate and blessed to be here. And don't think we take it for granted for 1 minute that our fans are in the stands, our tailgaters are in the parking lot, and our students are up in the student section, making it miserable for the visiting team.
And that's what it's about. And I think a few years ago, we hadn't had football back all that time. I was asked, why isn't the student body behind our bench? No.
Yeah.
You went in behind the visiting bench because that's what happens when we're on the road.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, and Nicholls, they'll give it to you good now over there.
No, they might have a sip or two.
Well, they have a sip or two. They got the baseball team behind us, and they're yelling and screaming at us. So it's a great atmosphere over there. They do a good job too. But we want the flock to be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Just don't throw things. Just keep it,
No. You could be verbal.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can do some research on their biography.
All you need to do is go to their website, click on their name, and you can find out maybe a little about their background and bring it up. So
exactly.
Just have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get our final break in. Then we're back to talk more Lamar University football. Talking with Coach Pete Rossomando. We're on News Talk 560 KLVI. All right, News Talk 560 KLVI. We're in the home stretch of the Coach Pete Rossomando Show. Sheila Reckham Center here at Lamar University in the patio. Great! This is a great venue. Again, thank you everybody for coming out. We really enjoy it. Love your support for Coach and Lamar University football, Lamar University athletics. We talked a little bit about, or I did, talking about the red shirts and the red shirts in their shorts and jerseys on the sideline. Talk about what they provide because they're a big part of this football program. Next year we'll see them with the pads on and the helmet on. But this year, they're taking their red shirt year. What's their responsibilities during the week?
I mean, honestly, if we didn't have them, we would be in a lot of trouble. And we practice pretty hard. We get after it during the course of the week. Now, we're not reckless, but we practice pretty hard. And those guys, doing the look squads for the opposing team is critical to get a good look so that our defense and our offense can be prepared and our special team, quite frankly, can be prepared when the game starts. And they've seen it. They played at a pretty high speed. And, we are so blessed with this group. I mean, guys like Nehemiah Bonner, who played at Duncanville, and Nick Chenever and Sal Lagrosso and Julian Sanchez, our freshman quarterback, who's going to be amazing. I mean, LaDamian, as we won't redshirt, but LaDamian, Amarian Raspberry, all these guys, Cam Patterson, and these guys are like the heart and soul of what we do. And I don't know if they realize that. We try to give them praise. We try to let them know how good it is. But I think our guys and the linemen, Reagan Langston, Coach Langston's son's one of our centers. Damon Donahue, guard. Barrett Wall. Those guys are banging every play. Freddie Banks, Carlos Ortega. Those guys are they're getting after it every play. And they come out there and practice hard all the time. So we appreciate what they do, man. We love them. They're gonna be unbelievable football players because they're playing against great players right now.
It is twofold. A, they are getting themselves ready for next year and beyond. B, they're preparing you for your next opponent. I mean, if you're an NFL fan, it's like a practice squad on the NFL.
Let me give you, for instance, you got our left tackle Cortez Winslow, who's now started, I believe, 20 games, right? And he's only a sophomore. He started 20 games. His freshman year, he was on the look squad for the first 8 weeks of the season. He developed so much over the course of that 8 weeks that the 9th week he started a game against I think it was East Texas. And I mean, you got that guy got himself prepared by playing against the best guys on the defensive side of the ball, and he started the last 3 games of the season for us, and he propelled himself into an unbelievable freshman season where he became the second-team all-conference, and now as a sophomore, redshirt sophomore, really gives us incredible leadership and incredible value. But that's what really scout teams should be used for. It's a development time for these guys, and it gives them an opportunity to springboard their success in the future.
How often when a player coming in, when you sign him out of high school and you think, we're going to redshirt him, and then you get him into camp in the fall and you went, no, he's suiting up for us. Does that happen quite a bit?
Well, I think LaDamian, because, we had so many running backs. We still have so many really good running backs. You say, LaDamian, he's a really good player. Let's redshirt him. And then you're like, oh, boy, I don't think so. That guy's got to be out there playing.
He's making it happen now.
Yeah, thank goodness he is. Albert Simon, from Nederland.
Yeah.
Going to be a great football player, playing a lot for us right now. Those are some freshmen that are really, really have just shown us a different level of play over the last couple of weeks. And really impressed with those guys. But, Julian Sanchez, Salazar, exactly the same way. Julian is a tremendous quarterback it's getting himself ready to play, maybe if we need him by the end of the year.
All right, you got about 2.5 minutes to go as we do each and every week as we wrap it up here at the patio. Just tell us what happens from the time you take those headsets off until the time we put the ball on the tee on 3 o'clock on Friday.
A lot of work still left to be done. A lot of improvements still left to be made. We've got to clean up the game plan tomorrow on the field with pads on, and then Friday's a mental sweat day. Get an opportunity to do some good team bonding with our team meal, and then man, it is crank up time on Saturday. We get up, we get a walkthrough, we get a pregame meal, and then we do Cardinal walk, and it's on by the time we get to the facility ready to go.
I'll tell you what, and Saturday afternoon college football game in Southeast Texas.
Yeah, come on out.
What else do you have to do? What else do you have to do?
All right, come on out. We'd love to have you there, and I know one thing, we'll appreciate you.
And always have confidence in you running down the hill before the game.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I do. I have confidence.
Confidence in what?
You're going to make it.
I mean, I'm going to make it one way or another. Either I'm going to walk down or I'm falling down. But I'm going to. You have that gravity is taking you down.
Right.
So
I would be doing a head over heels somersault. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Trying not to.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We've got about 30 seconds here. Didn't at first you lock arms with players when he came down the hill? Now you walk. Now you run solo.
Well, our players are very gracious, all right, and they give me enough space because they know the old man can't run as good as he used to, and they're gonna let me get down that hill, and then they come up behind me and pass me. So I love them. I appreciate them because man, if any of them touch me from behind, I promise you I'm going down the hill, and I'm not stopping.
They know that. Coach, good luck. Let's keep it rolling. Cardinals on a 3-game winning streak. Look to extend it to 4. Conference opener. We'll see you Saturday.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach Pete Rossomando. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming out here tonight. Support your Lamar Cardinals. 3 o'clock kickoff. Provost Humphrey Stadium against Nicholls on Saturday. Also right here on News Talk 560 KLVI. Back here next Wednesday night. We'll see you Saturday. We see you back here next Wednesday here at the patio. Good night, everyone.